Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. Paul Jasson with you. Thanks for joining us downtown. And we are at the, of course, Fairfield Federal main lobby, where so much goes on this time of the year and heading into festival time, not that far away, but Friday nights, movies, the bandstand they have down here, just a monstrous place behind us at the gazebo, everything kind of at this corner in Lancaster. Today, we want to talk about an event that really has been building for 30 plus years. Some 30 years ago, a group of individuals took over a kind of a program that was slipping a little bit and decided to re-energize it, bring it back. And now, 30 years later, it is on top of what's going on July 4th around here. We're, of course, talking about the parade and the festivities that occur down at the Fairgrounds. We've got one of the leaders of that group that started all that, Dave Smith. Dave, welcome.
Paul, always
Ringleader might have been a little tough.
There are other words that might have fit better. Coordinator.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Dave Smith, we've had him on here, a guy in many hats. We've had you on over the years for lots of different things, but this is always a fun one to talk about. And again, it's been more than 30 years since this your group kind of got together and decided we need to change it up.
Well, like everything, it goes through a cycle, and I'd been working for Anchor over in Minnesota and came back, and there's a number of things I decided to get into as my life was getting older, and I noticed that the 4th of July committee needed some help, so I joined in, and we worked very well together, the old and the new, so to speak, and we started building on what we needed to build on, and that was more revenue, because you need revenue for fireworks, but then you also have to pay for fire and police and insurance and the fairgrounds and the porta pots and the golf carts, and there's a few other things that I didn't mention. And so there's an expense to putting on the parade even, and we're very happy to do it. But we do need some resources to make it as good as it is today.
And you realize that early on, so as part of the renovation and the new things you're bringing in, obviously you needed that revenue stream coming in. We'll talk about that. But July 4th used to be an event. It'd be the evening. We'd have fireworks. That was kind of July 4th. Now it's an entire day, morning till evening.
Right. And we worked with the other local communities trying to figure out when are you going to have your 4th of July celebration. Some would do it the weekend before. Well, what if the 4th was on a Saturday? Well, and then so we were working with the other communities to see, okay, what time's your parade? What time's your parade?
No one wants to take away from anyone else's.
And then there are people who want to be in every parade.
Sure.
And they're local elected officials and or good deed doers. I made that up.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's perfect, though.
Yeah, it came from
Perfect.
The Wizard of Oz. Anyway. And so they want to be in them. So we were trying to figure out, okay, 10 o'clock is when we're going to have ours. Others were having theirs at noon. And some would be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon just before the festivities that night. So we've all worked it out on when to have a good time. And so now, 10 o'clock in the morning is the parade, 10 o'clock at night is the fireworks, everything's at the fairgrounds, parade goes through downtown. What a perfect setting, just perfect. Bandstand, Johnny Garber. Jerry who?
Yeah.
Johnny Garber.
We'll talk about Jerry later.
Yeah, okay. And just a nice setting. And Johnny Garber has been around longer than the 4th of July.
A lot longer.
Yeah.
It used to be the 3rd when he started.
Yeah.
Now it's moved to the 4th. Johnny Garber right behind us, he'll be doing all that. No, he's unlike any other person. If you've never heard that kind of banter go on about the 4th of July, it's pretty cool.
Yep.
So the parade, and really, as much as I like the Christmas parade and think that's just an unbelievable parade, this is summer, it's a different feeling. This is really quite the parade.
Yeah, and it's hot in July, too.
Real hot.
It can be. We're going through some warm temperatures. Last year was ideal. It was just in the 70s. Don't know what happened. It was just in the 70s all day.
Perhaps an anomaly.
Yeah, the clouds were coming and going, so you didn't get burned all at one time. You got burned several times throughout the day. But we always have the 4th of July on the 4th of July, unless it happens on Sunday. Yeah. And in the years ahead, we're going to have 2 Saturdays in a row where it'll be July the 4th and then because of the calendar, it'll be July
Right.
3rd. But we love 4th of July. I think it's one of the nice summertime activities. People can take advantage of the parade in the morning, the fireworks at night, have their own picnic with their family. It's a good time for class reunions, for people to come back home. Yeah, it's a nice summer holiday.
Just a quick aside, I was thinking of that. It starts, goes down Columbus, turns, goes back up Broad. What's the distance on that?
It's just about 1 mile.
1 mile.
Yeah, and for those who are walking or skipping or they have pets, sometimes the pets start off really well, and then after a while the pet wants to be held
Because the
up.
pavement might be 150 degrees.
Oh, that's true too.
So the actual step-off parade is what, like 9:45?
Well, no, we start at 10 o'clock.
It steps off at 10.
Right.
Okay.
And what we do is we ask people who are going to be in the parade to be there by 8:30, no earlier than 8:30, and the horses know to come in later, and they kind of keep themselves cool. And the North Columbus Street side of the fairgrounds has lots of trees, so they're in pretty good shape over there. But as the parade goes through downtown, it's just like the holiday parade. It starts coming back before the last units are going out. So you got a mile of parade, maybe a mile and a half of parade.
Yeah.
Holiday parade, it's a wonderful parade. They actually have real floats, professional floats. We just have kids and music and scouts and
Things people love.
yeah, cement trucks. I mean,
Yeah.
we got a ton of cement
Everything.
trucks. And
Everything.
The old
Tractors?
Antique Tractor Club. Last year, I think they had 60-some tractors. And I said, "What, did you leave any at home?" And they said, we did. If everybody could bring everything that's in the club, it'd be about 100
Yeah.
units.
It's just a wonderful parade. Again, goes through up Columbus Street, turns, comes up here. Johnny meets everybody up here at Broad and has some fun with them. And again, it doesn't. Again, you talked about the cost of lots of variables in there that probably only increase, if not every year, some years. So you appreciate all that the community does to keep this going.
We do, and last year we had a record number of donations, and as we go through it now, we're starting to see that that trend is continuing. But in spite of that, and because of safety concerns on the grounds with as many people as there, we're increasing the medical exposure there with the Lancaster Fire Department and the Lancaster Police Department and the Sheriff's Office. We're going to have more and more services being provided, safety services being provided. And Hamburg is our greatest asset that we have. And they are not raising their prices to us for the last 3 years, well, since COVID. And we're very thankful for that. But we still have other expenses that are rising. So we're going to have a little sticker shock. We're going to raise the prices again for parking. We appreciate the people that are willing to come to the fairgrounds and pay that, and most of them do it gratefully to have such a great celebration.
Sure.
And that's because of Hamburg Fireworks and the volunteers that all make it come together.
So now if you just walk in, you and your family just park somewhere out there and walk into Fairgrounds, charge?
No charge.
Yeah.
In Rising Park, you can.
They always have that lined off.
They're filled up about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then they close it for the rest of the day. So it's a challenge to find a good parking spot.
Right.
But the fairgrounds is not downtown, but it's near downtown, and there's neighborhoods, there's streets. There's a lot of places where people could walk to, and we already know that Memorial Drive. There's as many people on Memorial Drive watching the fireworks as there are inside the fairgrounds.
I had no idea that went on, and I was driving down 33, and it was where that church is now. I forget the business. Bayou City.
Yeah.
There were people sitting.
The tree, yeah.
Well, the tree is now,
Yeah.
but people were there not. Because of the mountain and everything that goes on from the fairground.
And they have more space, and they think they can get out quicker.
And they were right.
And they might be right. But we're pretty proud with the Lancaster Police Department and the way we have the exit plan. Within 45 minutes, if you really wanted to get out of the fairgrounds, you'll be out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have a traffic pattern. You can't turn here. You have to go 4 or 5 blocks straight before you exit, and it works out pretty well.
What times things kick off down at the fairgrounds?
As soon as the parade finishes, which is about 11:30, 11:45, we'll open up for parking at noon, and people can enjoy the fair food, 4th of July food, and the rides and the arts and crafts and games of chance and stuff like that. So about 12 noon.
Okay, about noon. So it's really a full day just there, regardless of the parade.
Yes, as soon as we have the parade out and cleared and safely out, then we'll start allowing people to come in and park and enjoy the rest of the day.
Okay. And again, you talked about you got a lot of eating joints down there to go to, a lot of good places to go. You've got rides for the kids. It's really and I'm sure that was an intentional to make this a family fun time.
And what we find is the younger families come out right after noon, and they enjoy the early afternoon, and then they have kind of it's not as crowded as 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So they have kind of a free reign, kind of casual. It's not as hot as it's going to be. So the younger families get to take care of their stuff. And then if they want to, take a nap and then come back later for the fireworks.
Got a couple minutes left. We talked
yeah.
a little bit earlier about amongst your thank yous. You certainly, and rightfully so, mentioned the Hamburg fireworks. Something special this year.
Well, 5 years ago, Jerry Sprague passed away in June, 5 years ago. And Jerry was obviously the patriarch of Hamburg fireworks. And I think the story goes back to he enjoyed fireworks. He was selling them out of the trunk of his car for a period of time until he realized, there was a marketability of fireworks. So there's a long history there. But Jerry was just great. Now Kenny and his family, sisters, they're great as well. Great tradition to carry on. You're only allowed to have, I think, in the state of Ohio, one fireworks display company in every county.
Oh.
So we have ours, and we have the world's best.
Yes.
They give us so much opportunity to have a grand show, and nobody leaves that fireworks display and says, "Oh, that wasn't too good," or they always say, "Wow." And we've invited some people from out of town to come visit, and it's everybody says it's spectacular. And the fairgrounds, as a setting, to be underneath the fireworks, Mount Pleasant off to the
Unreal.
east, setting off more fireworks. Nobody has that stage. Nobody has that stage.
So we've got a week and a half or so till the big day on July 4th. If anybody wants to still get involved, how can they do that?
Yeah, they can give me a call, Dave Smith. My cell number is 740-407-8500. And go to our website.
Which is?
4th of July Lancaster.
Okay,
Or
look that up. Put that in.
Lancaster, 4th of July, 4th of July
It'll
Lancaster.
get you there.
It'll pop up. There's emails, there's phone numbers, there's people, there's parade information, donation information, and volunteers. We love volunteers, and we actually pay most of our volunteers.
Dave Smith of the 4th of July Committee with us to kind of talk about kind of one of the premier moments in Lancaster, the July 4th parade coming up within a week or two, coming up very closely here. Again, great success. Hope for a day similar to this.
We have cloud control.
You always have. Is it
Yeah.
still Ron?
It still runs.
Still
Charge
Ron.
it
And he's pretty good at it.
Excellent. It's surprisingly, knowing Ron, how good he is at doing that.
That's hurtful. That can be hurtful.
It's true, but
Dave Smith, 4th of July Committee. Best of luck, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Have a great
Thank you.
parade and a great evening down there. It's always fun to watch this. A great time. We'll be back in just a moment.
The Lancaster Festival is back for its 40th and best season yet, with visual artists and star-studded concerts. The festival is an amazing experience for all ages, featuring dozens of free and paid ticketed events, including concerts with country star Lee Bright, legendary pop group Wilson Phillips, and much, much more. To see a full schedule and purchase tickets for festival events, visit lancasterfestival.org today.
The staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
I want a doctor who listens to me.
From primary care to specialty medicine, we put your needs first by treating you like a person, not a number. Our primary care team will help you identify your healthcare needs and set goals for success, regardless of where you are in your wellness journey. We care for patients of all ages, with offices that are close to you. Whatever you're searching for, you can find it at Fairfield Medical Center.
What I like about my job as a prevention supervisor is I'm able to help train our staff along with working with our schools and building those relationships within our school districts in Fairfield County. And then also I like that in my position, I'm able to hire interns that are going into the social work field so they have the opportunity to step into the field before just starting their degree right off the bat.
This job really gave me a chance to work on some of the bigger systems issues. So making sure that we're an equitable system, that we treat everybody fairly. So people of color, people who have experienced trauma, people who have been through poverty, LGBTQ youth. So it's been really good for me because I've gotten to work not just with individuals, but also working on some of those bigger systems within our county and throughout our state.
I am driven by my belief that every individual deserves an opportunity to achieve mental and emotional balance, and I'm very passionate about contributing to that process.
I like the people that I work with and that I meet every day. I often feel that I am meeting these really driven people who want to make a difference in their community, and it's very inspiring to me.
Community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference. Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. I want to thank Dave Smith. We talked about the July 4th committee coming up here. Always a spectacular day here in Lancaster, so we hope for good weather and it'll just be a marvelous July 4th parade and event at the Fairgrounds. Let's move on to another event that is coming up at the Fairgrounds too. The Fairgrounds is utilized a lot in Lancaster for lots of different things, and this has become an annual event now. Hank's Race, how many years now, Amy?
This is our 9th year.
Amy Carpenter is with it. Hank's Race, and 9 years?
Yes.
Wow. Moving on
Yeah.
and getting a little bigger each year, we think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like hard to believe it's been 9 years.
Really growing, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a lady with a very strong will right here. She has, for a while, single-handedly carried this and made it popular. And now there are events, there are sales and different things around. There are calendars, events going on. But I think the big one, at least the notoriety one, is the race. This is a big one for you.
Yes. Yeah, and I just heard the other day we have a dog groomer coming. We always have Hair of the Dog, and they do like the toenail clippings for dogs. They donate the money to us. But we have another another vendor for dogs, and it's for dog grooming. So they're going to come this year and offer baths to dogs and blowout. So after they run the race and they're all hot and sweaty, they can get all cleaned up and look all good.
She takes good care of the pets. I'll guarantee you right that. So this goes back, just kind of a brief thumbnail sketch. This goes back many years when you and your puppy Hank.
Yeah.
And it didn't come to a good end, but it's still going on, and I guess the story's still being told, and it really is a good end now.
Right. Yeah. Like your listeners probably already know, that I lost Hank to a rare cancer called sarcoma, And right after that, it was really hard for me. I was just like, sad and depressed and, didn't know what to do with myself. And then I started researching and finding out all the statistics about sarcoma, about canine cancer. And I thought, well, why not do some type of walk or run to bring awareness? And then it has just grown from there. Yeah. And 10 years later.
Here we are. And it's probably
or 9 years later.
9 years later.
10 years for the calendar.
We'll show a picture here of you and some pretty big officials that happened a while back.
Yeah.
Hank's Law, something you and Tim Schaffer was very instrumental in that.
Schaffer
but the governor
was
and stuff. We'll put that picture up. This was a big moment for your whole program.
Yeah, Senator Schaffer was the one that made it happen. I think it was back in, I lose track of the years now, but I went to Washington, D.C., and I was trying to go there to advocate, to try to get people, politicians to listen and to bring some type of awareness, and I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. So I came back here to Lancaster. I talked to our previous mayor, David Scheffler, and he made a July Sarcoma Awareness Month in the city of Lancaster. And I was like, okay, well, I'm getting somewhere. And now I'm going to go to the state level. And back then, Senator Schaffer was in the House of Representatives. And I talked to him, and right away he was on board. They had lost their dog, Fancy, to cancer. So he understood my pain and the love, that some people have for their animals, especially when you feel like they're your child. And as soon as I met with him, things started happening. We were, meeting with the House of Representatives, meeting with the Senate, testifying. And, if it wasn't for Senator Schaffer hanging in there with me, we never would have got it done. It took us 5 years.
Well, it's come a long way. That circle's kind of come all the way around, and a big moment there with the governor signing that and making it in. I know it was like a dream come true for you.
It was, and the whole sweet thing of the whole day was when I first walked in. We got to go to the governor's mansion. It was all decorated for Christmas.
Wow.
Right? Senator Schaffer said that doesn't usually happen. And so we walked in, and the first thing I saw when I walked in the governor's mansion was his dog, I think her name's Dolly. She was at the top of the steps staring at me.
Very appropriate.
Like she knew why I was there that day.
Yeah.
It was so sweet. And then I said, well, can she get in the picture with us? He goes, I don't know, I'll have to ask her. And so she came right in the middle and looked right up at the camera.
On cue.
Yep, just like she knew, hey, I know why you're here today.
Guest is
So
Amy
sweet.
Carpenter, and let's talk more about the race since that's coming up here. What's the date on this now?
July 13th.
July 13th, coming up pretty close here. And it's down at the Fairgrounds. What time does everything kind of get going in the morning?
So registration is at 7:30, and that goes till 8:30, and then the opening ceremony is at 8:30 at Hank's Bench, and that is over on the Rising Park side of the Fairgrounds. And then we do the opening ceremony from 8:30 to 9, and that's my most special time of the whole race, and that's where we honor cancer survivors or those who have lost their lives to cancer. And besides Senator Schaffer coming and the dean of the Ohio State Vet School, this year we also have another guest that's going to be coming, and it's Dr. Joel Mayerson, and he's actually the human doctor that the veterinarians consulted with that saved Hank's life.
Really?
So they said, no, we can't remove the grapefruit-sized tumor, you need to put him down. Then I said, I'm not doing that because he acted happy. He didn't act like he had a grapefruit-sized, sarcoma. And I said, I'm not leaving here till you do something. And so they contacted him, and he walked the vets through the procedure because he's a pediatric oncologist. And so he's used to, Hank had a big body, so he had the body the size of a child. And so he helped walk them through the anatomy of how to remove that. And they said that they didn't even know if it was possible, but they would try. And then after they did it, they called him Hank the Miracle Dog. Yeah.
Well, it was a great moment there to have that happen, and now you've got him come down here. How cool is that?
I know,
very
right?
Good. So when we say Hank's Race, what is the race?
So what it is, it's a 5K walk run, and people messaging me, can I bring my dog? I said, of course you can bring your dog. It's for the dogs.
Yeah.
And also for children, and children get to walk run for free because sarcoma happens 5 times more in dogs and second most common in children. So we want the kids to come out and walk and run too. But it's just a nice family event, and then after the race is over, we have guest speakers, and we have the sheriff's office, LPD, fire department, highway patrol, all there, just a day of, fun.
So if somebody wants to still get involved in that, how can they do that?
Yes, so you can go to our website, hankcablesarcomafoundation.com.
And we're wearing the yellow ribbon on
Yes.
here. You have earrings to match.
Yes.
I noticed that.
Hank's Law.
Hank's Law. Unbelievable how far this has come.
Right.
9 years, but it just seems like it's been that fast.
It's heaven.
Yes,
It's
I
divine.
mean, you've done great work here, and I know Hank is very proud about.
Thank you.
He's the genesis of all this. So
He is.
Great job. What number again?
So you can, if you have any questions, you can text me at 740-974-2811 or our website, hankcablesarcomafoundation.com.
It's a big day coming up here down to Fairgrounds. Best of luck. Hope it's a perfect day like this for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Amy Carpenter with us, Hank's Law. Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.